Hi guys, back again, take 2, part 2. Got cut off there. My dad ended up dropping by and I needed to help him with something. So I'm going to continue on with my dream. My rapture dream. Where I left off was about looking down at my son and seeing him and saying, I said that he looked about 3. He could have been 2.5 though. My son is big. He's a big boy. He looks older, half a year older than he really is, so I don't want to confuse anybody about dates and stuff. I do have my beliefs on certain times and probable dates, most likely for the rapture and certain things, and I'm going to share that in another video. But to continue on with my dream, so after I looked down at him, I looked around outside of our room, and it was kind of open, like the room didn't have like 4 doors. It felt like it had 4 walls. It felt like it had 3 walls, and one wall was kind of like missing, or it was like transformative or transparent or something, where you can walk through and see through the rest of the complex. And this room was part of a huge honeycomb complex, like the way you would think a beehive is like organized. It was huge. Of chambers, like all honeycombed together, and it was in like a spherical high-rise type building. That's the best I can describe it. Anyways, it was beautiful, and it was like mathematical, which is so, it's so, it makes sense, you know, when you think of God as the God of order. So it was beautiful. So I decided to walk down from our place of dwelling to check out what was on the ground floor, because I knew that I had to go to the ground floor for some reason. And sorry, when I made it to the ground floor, I don't even know how I got there. I think I kind of like transported myself. I just thought of it and I was there. In the middle of like the ground floor, there was like a whole bunch of different tents. The way you go to a beach, you know, you see different tents set up to kind of like festival-like. And they had different things that you could do in the tents, but they were, it was, uh-oh, that's my little one. Please forgive the screen flashing like red. I'm actually using photo booth on my laptop, and this kind of like automatic blue screen background, which I love. I want to keep it simple so to focus on the message. And every time it moves around, like things move around behind it, it kind of distorts it, so it turns red. Anyways, so these tents, it was like, yeah, like a beach festival it wasn't a beach, but I mean like the way you see beach festival tents set up, like, you know, those shop tents almost. But they weren't for buying things. They were kind of for like artist tents, like artistic tents, full of different types of art and forms of art, music, just expression, artistic expression, creative expression, different forms of it. And it was kind of like, it seemed to me it was like all in honor of God and of Jesus. But anyways, I was walking through these tents and I remember thinking, wow, this is great. It's so nice and fun and look at all this creativity. And I stopped at one tent and I seen a young man. He was a couple years younger than me, I could tell. And I remember thinking to myself, wow, he's really handsome. He had dark black hair. And he was DJing. Yes, DJing. DJ in heaven. And he was like doing the turntable and he looked up at me and I remember thinking, do I know you? Kind of seemed familiar and I was like drawn to him, so I went closer and I went all the way up to the tent to say hi. And he's like, hi. And then like we weren't talking, but it's like I felt this deep, fulfilling, complete, romantic connection to this soul, this person. And it was just really strange because I didn't expect to feel some kind of romantic attachment in heaven. You know, pretty weird, but I started thinking about that later on, after watching a couple of different videos, and it's, I kind of believe like it wasn't human-like attraction. It wasn't like, you know, sexual or cardinal, how you would say. It was just like spiritual, connected, like closeness, the way you would describe like partners. So that's what he seemed to me, and from like listening to other things, like other videos of stuff, people's dreams, it seemed like he was like my partner that I would be working with in the future. So I'm kind of curious about what that's going to be like, or what purpose that's serving. And I'm thinking now, wow, all of the things that we don't know that God has in store for us. Some beautiful things. So anyways, that was short, and I moved on. And as I moved on, I went into this other, like, stadium type of arrangement, and everybody who was in there were kind of like sitting, lounging, walking around casually, leisurely like. But it felt like a very special, holy place. But it was like it was like a teaching or practical learning application setting, which is really interesting. And I remember walking around, and every time my son would run off to play, right, or just to explore, I kept thinking, oh no, I'd remember about him and be like, oh no, where'd my son go? And it's not that I was anxious, but it was like habitual almost, and I just wanted to know where he was. And so every time I thought that, sorry, now the screen is definitely not working. Every time I thought that, someone would come and bring my son to me. Like, oh, here he is. Here you go. They're just people like me who had gone up to heaven. And everyone was really nice, and it was so peaceful. So fun, kind, warm, peaceful. Like, it was so relaxing. And no, like, virtually no worries. Just thoughts, you know. Anyways. So what happened next was, while I was in this room, some ladies were there as well, older ladies. They were actually, I remember seeing them and thinking that they were two elderly ladies. And they were looking at me, and I remember looking at myself and saying, whoa, what do I look like? It drew my attention to that. And I remember thinking to myself, wow, I look like myself, but I look so beautiful. I didn't see myself, but I remember thinking of myself that way. What happened was this. I was wearing a white beautiful garment robe, and everybody was in white robes, and they were all unique. Actually, they were all like coutoured. That's the best way I can. They were all couture for each of us, tailored and designed specifically for our taste, and you know, it was very cool, very interesting. And they were looking at my jewelry, and I remember thinking, that's weird. Jewelry in heaven? What's that for? But I had all these jewels around my neck and rings, and I remember when I left my dream, it's like I thought to myself, well, this is the jewelry I was wearing when I was taken, but it wasn't. It was actually like that jewelry was transformed as I was transformed when I went to heaven. And it was so beautiful. Like, it was nothing like you see on earth. It was just magnificent, perfect, shining brighter than what jewelry shines, sparkling brighter than what diamonds sparkle, and different stones, different arrays of stones that I don't recognize. So creative, so just like it was perfected, like I was perfected. It was so nice. And so I said, thank you, and I remember saying, I got this from Earth. Yeah, I got it from Earth. And because I was remembering the jewelry that I had bought previously, where I got it from, and I was telling them where I got it from. But it wasn't the same jewelry, it was transformed like me, which is really interesting. So I just wanted to mention that as well. And then I stood up, and everyone gathered around me in the stadium. They sat down or stood around me, and it was like rows and rows. And I stood up and I started to sermon to these people, this large group. I was preaching. Somehow I never did that, and I remember thinking, wow, normally I'm so scared of this. Wow, what am I doing? Wow, look at me. And I didn't feel any fear. It's just I knew normally that this would, like, to have such a large speech publicly, I was, like, frightened. Normally. But I was standing there with ease and with grace and with conviction and strength and knowledge, and it just flowed. Like it was my lips, but not my lips. I don't know. And, yeah, I just started preaching about God and Jesus and the gospel and to all of them, and they were all listening, and we were all praising, and so interesting. And I think that it was almost in a way, the way I think of it was that I was like, that we were all practicing, taking turns maybe, I don't know, practicing together, and I was preaching. But it was beautiful, and it was so enlightening. And then I woke up. And the weirdest thing about this entire experience and this dream was that a day before I received this dream, I actually prayed and I asked Jesus, I pray and I say, please, dear Yahshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ, please, dear Elohim Yah, please, send me some kind of confirmation whether I'm going to be in a rapture or not, whether I'm going to be raptured, whether I'm going to be taken before what's to come, because I'm worried. I'm a bit frightened. Forgive me, forgive my fleshly concerns. I know it's your way, and I accept your way, but, if it is that way, please have mercy on me. Share a little bit with me. Please confirm something for me. Please let me know. And I cannot believe it, but one day later, he sent it to me. Now that's pretty special, guys. If that's not confirmation, I don't know. And it's the weird thing is I try to tell some family about this and they don't get it. Like, I don't know how they cannot believe me when I tell them these things. And it's so powerful that it's like, and obvious. How? But they don't believe. They don't see. I wish that they did, but it's not my journey. That's their journey. I just pray. I want to pray with everybody, and I want everybody to understand that what keeps us from being closer to God. And, I know some people maybe are looking at this saying, oh, I haven't received a vision. I haven't received a dream. I can't hear. I can't see God. I don't understand. I get that. We were all there. I was there not too long ago. But I want you to know that that doesn't change how God sees us. He still loves us. He still wants to be close with you. But the thing about it is, the very thing about that, the reason why, sorry about that, guys. Readjusting here. I really feel bad that this screen is not performing at all. I'm gonna have to figure that out another time, but I really want to post this regardless, and I will. Maybe I'll repost it, retake it in the future, and then take it down, but it is what it is. And I know it drags it out, but I don't want to leave anything out, because I want to do it all justice, right? I know that's why it's long, but please bear with me. Anyways, I just wanted to say what keeps us from God is not God. He doesn't keep himself from us. He wants to be close to us. He wants to be near. He wants to send you dreams. He wants to send visions. He wants to do those things. He wants to touch your heart. It's our stubbornness. It's our flesh. Our flesh comes from our stubbornness. It's not your fault. But you need to understand. You need to understand that's what it is. That's what's holding you back. Is you're stubborn. Your stubbornness, your stubbornness produced by your flesh. When you recognize that, it's easier to let it go. It's easier to say, okay, this is me. My skin is telling me no, not to accept, not to believe, not to trust, not to let go, not to surrender myself completely. It's very, I'm still working on it. Like, and no one's going to be 100% perfect with that. Only Jesus was. That's why he was our Savior. Because he's a God. He overcame. He's the Son of God. That's why he died for us. That's why, to open the door for us, so that we could be like him. He could help us, carry us, share with us, you know. Give us a way out. You know, talk about a big brother. You know? Wow. But I just want to, I know it's confusing. It's confusing, and I'm going to touch on that in another video about kind of trying to draw closer to God. It's a journey that I'm on, that we're all on, and I don't mind sharing my thoughts and about the subject as I'm learning to do it. So I think that is helpful, how we all share it together and learn together. And I want to mention also, just before this stream, this may be relevant. I don't know if it influenced this stream to come on or not. I had a short dream that after my sister dropped me off, I went to bed, and I said, bye, see you later. And I remember earlier on she had wanted something, but I didn't have the time to give it to her. Like, I was giving away some of my stuff that I didn't need. And anyways, I said to her, I fell asleep, and then I remember dreaming, and it's like I woke up in my dream. So I was still asleep, but I was dreaming in my dream, and I woke up in my dream, and I looked around, and it was like I was living my life with my normal home surrounding, and I got up, and I remember hearing something in my dream. So I got up, and I went over to my closet, and I found what seemed to be my sister. It looked like my sister, it was a figure of my sister, but I knew it wasn't quite my sister. So I asked this representation figure, what are you looking for? Just like that. And they paused. They looked at me, ignored me, then turned back around to start digging deeper in my drawers of personal stuff. And so I said to it, then I started getting upset because I knew something wasn't right. So I raised my voice and I yelled, what are you looking for? Tell me. And after I said that, this thing got startled. This figure got startled. My sister figure got startled, and it jumped up. She jumped up, and she tried to run away, like she was caught. Oops, caught! You caught me! And it's like she's like searching for something, trying to take it or steal it or I don't know, control it or whatever. And I wouldn't have any of it. So after this figure, she realized that, she jumped up and she ran away. But I decided, I'm not going to let you get away. I'm going to find out what you're looking for. So, funny thing is, she ran from my closet into my son's bedroom, and he has a couch there, and she fell back, because I was right behind her. I didn't touch her. She fell back in a way that she had turned around, and she fell onto the couch, onto her back. And she was kind of like, in a way, paralyzed. And then I said, tell me what you were looking for. And it was so strange. All of a sudden, she kind of like shriveled up in pain, and it's like whatever being was inside that figure, it's like it dissipated. They were no longer possessing the image or whatever. And all I can think is that that thing was some kind of demon or spirit that was either testing me or searching for something that I knew or was finding out, and it didn't want me to have it. It's like it wanted to take it from my memory, or that's the only thing I can logically think of, something like that. And I was gonna fight this thing, and it knew, and so it ran away. Thank God. And so then I and this image of my sister, this body, started grabbing her stomach and like her womb. And my sister, a while ago, like last year, she was pregnant, and she had a baby practically to full term. She gave birth to it, and the baby had deformities, and it ended up passing away 2 days after, which is very sad for us and my sister. It was a great loss. But this dream, I ended up thinking of my little nephew in heaven. I ended up reminding of him, and I thought of him as she grasped her stomach, her womb, or in pain and agony, screaming out, and it was like, oh, now this is my sister. Now this is my sister. This is not that whatever that thing was possessing her, that demon, whatever. This is now my sister. And I remember thinking, I'm going to help her. So I reached my hand out, my right hand, and I put it on her womb. And I said to her, and I don't even know if I was talking to her. I think I was talking to my nephew, my little baby Liam. I was talking to him. And I put my hand there over top of the womb, holding, and I was saying, whispering, it's okay. It's okay. It's all okay. It's gonna be okay. And I feel like I was talking to Liam in a way, sending a message. And to my sister, to myself, to Liam, that he's okay. That he's in heaven. He's gonna be in heaven, and we're all gonna be together, you know. And I'm here for you, Liam. I'm here for you. You know, I remember saying, like, feeling that. So powerful. And then I fell back asleep. I woke up, and then I ended up falling back asleep again, thinking, wow, that's crazy business there. And then I had my rapture dream. So I thought that was kind of powerful. It was like a way God was allowing me to be tested to prove myself if I was worthy, in a way. I don't know. That's what I think. It's like part test. We're sent so many tests, you know, and it's not to mock us. It's not to doubt us. It's to strengthen us. It's to bring us conviction. God wants to strengthen His love. Our love in Him. For Him. And how do you find your love? You find it through the struggles that you go through. That's what you do. You know? How do you find love for something or someone? When it's easy? No. You take those things for granted. You take those people for granted. God knows that. He knows our human ways. He knows the weakness of our flesh. He also knows how long the soul takes before it starts confronting things like that. He's put us here to change that, to clarify it, to test it. Sorry, guys. Anyways, that will be my wrap-up, little one. And I'll post again soon. Okay? Thanks for listening and for your patience. with the video and everything. God be with you. God bless you. Jesus is coming soon. And he wants to be with us. Guys, please prepare yourselves. Please repent from your sins. Please try your best. Ask God for the strength and the courage and the will and the power to overcome sin, to purify yourselves, to be ready for him. When he comes, be ready for him. Ask him. He won't deny you. Ask him with your heart. Speak to him through your heart. God is love. God is the author of love. He is all love. He wants to love. And he wants you to love him. He wants you to be loving. Okay? Reach out to him with your heart. He'll answer. He'll answer you. It won't be how you think. God doesn't work in your ways. His ways are above our ways. That's what he says. And it's true. So just reach out to him, and he's going to show you some magic that you're yearning for in ways that you think are not practical, probable, or anything. Just magical. Okay, thanks guys. Talk soon.